Welcome back. It's the 2's review on the SDH network after a very disappointing loss on the road for Atlanta United to 4-1 win for the hosts, Carolina Core. And Carolina ends up getting that win 11-10 for the whole second half and a few minutes in the first half after 2 yellow cards issued to Efrain Morales. We'll get into all of that. You'll hear how it sounded on the road at High Point, North Carolina. The win for Carolina Core takes them to 8-10-4 on the year, 31 points, 4 behind Chattanooga FC in the final playoff spot. With a game in hand, Atlanta falls to 6-11-5, 26 points, 9 points back, 1 game in hand, and they go to visit Chattanooga FC on Sunday. That's a 7 o'clock kickoff at Finley Stadium. We will have on-site coverage of that one on the SDH network with pregame starting at 6:30, presented by Kaiser Permanente. Let's go back in time on how this one sounded. We will start with the first half highlights as Carolina got off to a hot start. Atlanta battled back into it, tied it up, but Carolina restored their lead and got that man advantage. Here's how all of that sounded in the first half. Corner delivered to the penalty spot, headed on and in. Goal, 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 straight out of the gate for Carolina Core. Facundo Canete, his 6th goal of the season, and his 3rd goal in about 7 minutes of play. He scored twice late to win the match against FC Cincinnati 2, and he picks up where he left off with an uncontested header from 12 yards. Power behind that from Canete, and the 24-year-old gives Carolina an early, and I mean early, lead at home. Up the right side for Aiden Torres. A great ball from Efrain Morales. Torres attacking third down the right. He'll cut it inside to Gallardo. Left-footed cross. Back post caught by Sutton. It's a good ball from Matias Gallardo. But Alex Sutton read that one like a nice book. Stepped out and caught it at the top of his own 6. Atlanta, here they come after the turnover. Firmino, Gallardo, top of the 18. Curler high and wide. Gallardo had the opportunity to make it 1-1. Head in hands in disbelief that didn't ripple the net. Gallardo, Dudley, goal! 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 Atlanta United 2. Out of the air, it's the big man, Ethan Dudley, with the left foot. Matias Gallardo once again puts it on a platter off the set piece. Dudley comes across and full volley for the big center back. Canete tries to bring it down. Dudley takes it away. Juarez now. Cross looking for Evans. Headed down by Morales. Polanco slams it home. Goal, goal, goal. Carolina Core. That quick they restore their lead. It was actually Javier Armas who headed that one down. Polanco with the goal. Morales was still on the field at that point. He got his 2nd yellow not long after that, and the second half took on a very different complexion. So to kind of clean everything up from a record-keeping standpoint from the first 45, Facundo Canete in the 2nd minute with the goal from the corner delivered from Jacob Evans. Ethan Dudley, also from a corner, delivered by Matias Gallardo. A great goal for Dudley, his 1st of the year. David Polanco with the lead restoring goal to make it 2-1 in the 45th minute. Polanco's 4th goal of the season, no assist on that one. And Morales picked up his 2nd yellow not long after that. So Atlanta was forced to play the second half and a little bit of change in the first half, a man down. So Atlanta battled for a good while in the second half. Carolina did find a 3rd goal in the 57th minute. Facundo Canete made it 3-1 at that stage. And Atlanta had opportunities to cut into the lead. It was a very late goal to make it 4-1. Here's how the second half sounded. Square it inside. Canete through to Evans. Evans pulls it back, spins around Armas, drives at the near post, and it's saved by Hibbert. Jacob Evans stayed on his feet that time and nearly beat Jaden Hibbert. He made the save at the near post. Left hand in the air. He doesn't go into the 18 this time. He plays it back to Diaz, back to Evans. Now he loops it to the back post. Headed back across. Covey header. Easy catch for Hibbert. Canete back out wide to Diaz. Diaz slips a pass through for Evans. Evans will cut it back to the penalty spot. Canete, goal, goal, goal. Another header. Another one from Canete. Another bit of service from Evans, this time from the run of play. And I don't have to tell you, the header was from right around the penalty spot again. 3-1 Carolina Core. Sutton, Herlock comes across, nearly blocks it. Armas knocks it down. Firmino, Carlton, 25 yards from goal. Right-footed shot pulled wide to the left post. Goal kick. Atlanta wants to turn and go with Gajardo. Gajardo down the right side for Herlock. Herlock going to hit the Jets into the 18 with a low-angle shot over the bar. Goal kick. Evans takes a touch forward, top of the 18. Evans into the 18. Evans, shot, score. Goal, 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 Carolina Core. Evans stays on his feet and puts it in the back of the net. 4-1 Carolina. Yeah, you could tell I was a little frustrated by that point. Cleaning up the record, keeping Canete, 57th minute goal. His second of the night, his 7th of the season. The assist from Evans, his second of the night, his 6th of the season. Evans got on the score sheet himself, his 6th goal of the night, or of the season, in the 90th minute. And that was it for Carolina and Atlanta. There were lots of shenanigans as things continued, and there's going to be some serious questions about Stephen Herlock potentially being injured as he was being tended to when the final whistle was blown. The challenge with Carlos Mario Diaz was a clean one. Diaz won the ball back after the 4 minutes of indicated stoppage time, when I don't know why we were still playing at that stage. Herlock was injured, and this is something that Atlanta United, too, is going to be extremely frustrated about if this becomes an issue for Stephen Herlock. And the reason why is Atlanta has had multiple injuries in weird situations this season. Ramsey Kawazmi was injured earlier in the season after a very aggressive challenge that probably should have seen something. I don't think anything was shown on it. I don't believe a yellow card was shown. I'm not even sure if a foul was called. And Kawazmi ended up having to have, I think, a surgical procedure. Missed a lot of time after he had just started with the team. You'll notice that Eric Centeno has not been available as of late for Atlanta United 2. Last time we saw Centeno, he was fouled late and in a contentious manner early in a match and had to be a first-half sub, which was very frustrating for Atlanta United 2. We've not seen Eric Centeno since. I'm not sure what his status is at this point. And now this one, which is not about the challenge itself, but it's about the timing of the challenge. Stephen Herlock ends up potentially injured at the end of the night. And that was, I don't want to say the least of it because we don't know the extent of a possible injury to Stephen Herlock, but Alex Sutton dove forward trying to create an incident with Kareem Tamimi. Tamimi just kind of made sure that Sutton knew that it was very disrespectful and kind of slapped at him, and Tamimi got a yellow card. I don't think he minds it too much. Outside of Morales' 2 yellow cards and a red, that was the only yellow of the night for Atlanta United 2. Carolina picked up 4 yellows. Ramos, Diaz, Alinga, and Canete all got yellow cards for Carolina Core. A weird night in that Carolina gets the 4-1 win, but I don't know how impressive they were even with a 3-goal win because of some of the other things going on. There were multiple dives inside the 18 from Jacob Evans, who had a goal and 2 assists on the night, and we should not be talking about the other stuff, but the other stuff was extremely egregious. Again, multiple dives, one of them thoroughly embarrassing, so embarrassing that everybody froze and he was able to get back to his feet, and it nearly worked to his advantage to create an opportunity before he dove again. This is a good Carolina core team, and this is a team that I think Roy Lassiter has done a very, very good job with. But if they are going to get into the playoffs and they are going to make a run here the rest of the way, the discipline is going to have to change for this group, because they're not good enough to overcome some of those things. The diving forward from Sutton, the diving in general from Evans, some of the other shenanigans. Diaz potentially throwing an elbow at Stephen Herlock, and it was in the corner of the field where there was not an AR. The play had switched quickly, so the referee was unable to get to it quickly enough. And I think as the night went on, Danielle Chesky, our referee, had some issues with the temperature of the match, the management of the match. It's not about individual calls here or there. It's about managing some of the things and diffusing some of the things. And I think it was a struggle. And it's something that is a challenge at times in this league where, look, this is a league for referees to develop in as well. And there are a lot of good up-and-coming referees in the United States. And we also need more of them. And there are times, and we see this with players as well, and look, we see it with everybody involved in these games, where people don't meet the standard of the match. The referees have to be part of that conversation as well, and on a night where the referee had nothing to do with making the result happen, got both yellows absolutely correct when it came to Efrain Morales, got a lot of calls correct and handled things at times well in terms of the decisions. But it was about more of the art of the refereeing, the extensive stoppage time in a game that was already overheating, the incident with the potential elbow from Diaz to Herlock, where Herlock ends up in the signboard on the far side of the field, off the field, and no foul was called there, and whether the referee didn't get help from her crew in that situation or no one could see it. A very difficult moment that then was not diffused. The situation with Sutton trying to go Tamimi into something, and Tamimi gets the yellow card. To diffuse things, a yellow card could have been shown on Sutton for creating the incident. All those kinds of moments. I don't want it to sound like sour grapes, but it's an opportunity as we talk about for players. And, Aiden Torres at right back tonight, he had some struggles. He had some good moments too, and he bounced back from some of those struggles. You have to hold referees to the same standard. And in this case, I think the management of the match was a letdown. And luckily, and I do say luckily, I think Atlanta United too did not take the bait that at times Carolina was looking for to create incidents. And it's something that I'm sure Roy Lassiter and his staff will kind of get the feeling of, you know what, we're better than this. These sorts of things feel a little Bush League at times. And this is a team that I think has much bigger ambitions than that. And I'm sure we will see those things change from Carolina Court, because it's a talented team, and they've gotten better all season long in MLS Next Pro. It was a slow start, but they are in the thick of the Eastern Conference playoff race in MLS Next Pro at this stage after a 4-1 win over Atlanta United 2 this evening. Carolina Core, they get the win. Atlanta will have to lick their wounds and get ready to first come back to Atlanta, get a couple of training sessions under their belt, and then head up I-75 to Chattanooga on Sunday for a 7 o'clock kickoff at Finley Stadium. Carolina will remain at home, and they will host Red Bull 2 at 7:30 on Sunday. Red Bulls just a spot ahead, 2 points ahead of Carolina in the Eastern Conference standings. We'll be in Chattanooga for the match on Sunday. A very busy week for us in the SDH Network footprint. Games at all the levels going on this week. I'll be on the call tomorrow night for the Georgia State Panthers women as they host the University of Florida. That'll be on ESPN+. Then some of us will make the trip up I-85 to Charlotte, or in a plane, depending on how your traveling is going. Heading to Charlotte to Bank of America Stadium for Atlanta and Charlotte. The rivalry renewed on Saturday night Our pregame coverage will start on 92.9 The Game at 6:30 with Abe Gordon and Garrett Chapman from the studios at Colony Square in Midtown Atlanta. And then Mike Conti and I will take over from Bank of America Stadium, kickoff at 7:40. There'll be plenty of Before the Whistle content with our good friend Jessica Charman as well, getting ready for that one. You can listen to Jess's call on WFNZ along with our friend of the show, Will Pelagic. And then quite a few of us will be making our ways back to Atlanta. Madison Cruz will be on the call for Oglethorpe's women's team on Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock. You can watch that at gopetrels.com. I'll be on another call for Georgia State's women on Sunday afternoon, also at 1 o'clock on ESPN Plus as they host Western Carolina. And then we will travel up to Chattanooga for Atlanta United 2 and Chattanooga FC. Never stops on the SDH network, and plenty more coverage of soccer at every single level all over the Southeast is headed your way. But that will do it for a Wednesday night. Carolina Core 4-1 winners over Atlanta United 2 in MLS Next Pro. Thanks to John Nelson for cutting highlights from the satellite studio. Thanks to all of you who listened. I'm Jason Longshore signing off on the SDH network. Carolina wins 4-1 over Atlanta United 2. Adios, everybody.